Good morning and welcome back to our science class. In today's session, we are going to continue with the same topic, separation of substances. In the previous video, you have already learned about 4 different types of methods. So let's move on with the same. So next is sedimentation and decantation. Sedimentation is a process of settling down of heavier, insoluble particles in a mixture of water. The insoluble substances are called sediments. Here you can see in the slide that when this water is allowed to remain undisturbed for some time, then the impurities they settle down in the form of a layer. This layer of impurities is called as sediments. Followed by sedimentation, we have the process of decantation. In decantation, we transfer the clear liquid after sedimentation without disturbing the sediments. In this process, we remove the clear water into another container and the sediments remain in the same container. Now, how can we increase the rate of sedimentation? We can increase it by the process called loading. In loading, we use a chemical called alum or pitcurry, which increases the rate of sedimentation. After this, let us talk about mixtures of two liquids and how they can be separated. You know that when mixture of liquids are of two kinds. You know about miscible liquids also and immiscible liquids. Immiscible liquids are those which do not mix up with each other. For example, when you mix water and oil, they will not mix up with each other. After some time, you will see two different layers, one of water and the other of oil. Oil, being lighter than water, will float on water and will form a layer above the water. Now, this property can be used to separate oil and water by using an apparatus called separating funnel. Then we have the next process called filtration. Now, filtration is a method of separating insoluble and suspended solids of different sizes from a liquid. In this case, we make use of a filter paper. So, the process is called filtration. Now, filtration method is used to separate paneer and or cheese. Now next is separation of solids from liquids. Solid means salt or sugar and liquid means water. So you can easily separate salt and sugar from water from their solution by two processes called evaporation and condensation. Now you know what is evaporation. Evaporation is the process in which a liquid gets converted into vapors. Evaporation can be used to separate a solid that is dissolved in a liquid. For example, salt, when it is dissolved in water, it forms a salt solution, or sugar, when it is dissolved in water, forms a sugar solution. So, salt and sugar can be separated from their solutions by the process called evaporation. Now, you all know, children, that how we get common salt from the sea. The sea water has very high content of salt in it. This common salt is also called as table salt, which we are using to cook vegetables, dal, etc. Seawater contains the salt and other metals also. Near the seashore, the seawater is collected in shallow pits, which are called as salt pits, and it is allowed to evaporate in sunshine. In a few days, the water evaporates, leaving behind impure salt. The salt that is obtained is collected and transported to big factories where it is purified and packed, and then we get it for our consumption. You can see easily here also in the slide how the process of evaporation is done artificially also. Alright. So we can also do it artificially when we are doing the process of distillation, where we are making use of evaporation and condensation processes. After evaporation, we have the process called condensation. Now you know what is condensation. Condensation is a process in which water vapors converts back into liquid form. Because of evaporation and condensation, the water circulates in our atmosphere. Alright? Then it is the process of condensation which is used to separate a liquid from a salt solution. Now, here's a quiz for you. Find out which method of separation is used for the following: stone and rice, husk and grain, grain and stalk, sand and water, salt and water. Do find out that what method will be suitable for separating these components of the mixture. Hope you have understood. Thank you.